What if I told you our whole concept of time, past, present, future, isn't some universal law? What if it's actually shaped by our deepest values and, get this, by the country we live in? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at an assumption about time that we all pretty much take for granted. Then, we'll look at a wild piece of data from Great Britain that turns that idea on its head. After that, we'll see this as part of a bigger global pattern. And finally, we'll explore a pretty radical new way to make sense of it all.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the idea that quietly runs the show in the background of how we think about, well, pretty much everything.
So we just kind of accept this as fact, right? To have a direction in life, to be oriented, means you're moving forward on a straight line. The past is back there, the future's up ahead, and we measure our progress by how far we've moved along that line. Simple.
But now, let's look at a single piece of data that puts a huge crack in that simple idea. A really fascinating little anomaly discovered under the unique life conditions of Great Britain.
This number, positive 0.3839. It might not look like much, but honestly, this is the hero of our story. It's a statistically significant correlation that, believe it or not, unlocks a whole new way of looking at the world.
So what is this number actually telling us? Well, look at the groups row. It shows a really strong connection between people who think in a very complex way. Some models call this the yellow stage. These are your systems thinkers, the ones who see how everything is interconnected. And what's wild is that in Great Britain, these advanced thinkers are overwhelmingly focused on the present.
Now this is absolutely crucial. This focus on the present isn't just about being mindful or, living in the now. No, it's a highly sophisticated strategy. It's a complete shift from checking your progress on a timeline to instead reading the room. It's about constantly calibrating your actions to see if they're right for the specific situation you're in right now.
And check this out, it's not just the yellow thinkers. This research shows that pretty much every major value system, what are called vMEMEs here, has its own unique clock. A blue worldview, for example, which is all about order and rules, sees time as a rigid, step-by-step timeline. A red worldview, focused on power and getting things done now, lives in that immediate moment. Every color you see here is a whole different reality when it comes to time.
So let's zoom out, because this isn't just some quirky British thing. This data points to a predictable and kind of mind-blowing global pattern, where our culture and our context literally change our relationship with time itself.
Okay, this is where things get really weird, in a good way. Take that same yellow systems thinking. We saw it leads to a present focus in Great Britain, but move it over to the Netherlands? Suddenly it correlates with a rejection of the past. Same mindset, different country, completely different time focus. Or look at France, where the turquoise holistic worldview has an incredibly strong present focus. It seems the unique cultural life conditions of a place act like a dial, completely recalibrating how we orient ourselves in time.
And this is where the danger comes in. When a system, a company, a government, whatever, clings to that old, rigid, linear idea of time, it kicks off a toxic chain reaction. It starts ignoring vital feedback from the present, which makes people feel disconnected and lost. The system then doubles down on its old metrics, and eventually, the very tools it uses to measure success become totally useless. They stop predicting anything real.
So, if time is this complicated and depends so much on context, how on earth are we supposed to navigate it? How do you lead a team when everybody's literally running on a different clock?
Well, the incredible answer might just be yes. This leads us to a pretty revolutionary idea that stops treating the soul of an organization like some kind of mysterious art and starts treating it like a science. You can even call it an algebra of conscience.
Think of it like a weather forecast, but for company culture. The model takes a snapshot of a company's collective psychology, all the values, the fears, the levels of trust, and turns it into a mathematical object, a state vector. Then you can plug in a potential management decision, the control, like a new remote work policy. The model then uses a massive engine of over 13,000 correlations to predict how that decision will change the cultural weather. And the goal isn't just profit. It's to find the path that creates the most stable, healthy environment for everyone.
And this is not just some theory on a slide. It's been built into a real, practical tool, a sort of navigator for leaders. You can see it here. You can literally A/B test your big decisions before you make them. It simulates the ripple effects on things like trust and well-being, helping you steer the ship toward the best possible outcome. It's like a GPS for your organization's soul.
Let's make this real with a classic debate: remote work. The data shows that your blue thinkers, who value order and safety, are generally cool with remote work.
But your green thinkers, who need community and connection, tend to reject it. Instead of forcing everyone into one box, the navigator finds the sweet spot, a custom hybrid model. It gives blue the rules and structure it needs, and it gives green the team rituals and contact it craves. It maximizes the stability for everyone.
And that leaves us with one last, massive question. When we stop measuring our lives and our progress with a simple, old-fashioned ruler, and instead start using a complex compass that reads the specific environment we're in, what breaks? What old ideas do we have to completely let go of to make way for what's next?